Mr. Odada Okello is in the building. Kama kawaida anajua kupambana na baridi na look good at the same time.
Hallelujah.
Welcome to the show, Odada.
Thank you very much.
Have you been heartbroken before?
I have.
Okay.
If you've been there,
yes,
you'll probably understand what I'm talking about today.
I do. I've been there. I think most people have gone through a heartbreak.
Exactly.
And sometimes when we're dealing with a heartbreak, it feels like this never-ending pain. Unashanga kama itawaisha. And then people who've been heartbroken before, wanakwambia imagine itaisha, you look back and laugh at this moment. But when you're in there, it doesn't seem like it's ending.
No, ma.
No, mbaya.
Oh, let me start by saying this, that the end to a relationship is the worst.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's emotionally draining. And what can I feel? And it's heartbreaking.
It is.
It has breaking.
It is.
You see, when you're in the middle of crying fits and anxiety spells, and you're in between texting your friends and your family members, you're trying to understand exactly what happened. It seems to you like it's impossible to survive a heartbreak.
Some people have described it as unasikia nika utadai.
Ni norma. Let's talk about the norma. You topic is sensitive. Though people experience or process the experience differently, the nitty-gritty and above all is you have to learn how to cope with a heartbreak. It's not only good for your emotional well-being and balance, but one thing I've learned about life, it goes on. So it's good for you to prepare to move on to that next person, the best match for you. So you can't stay there where you're stuck. You have to move on. So the most important thing is to learn how to move on. So I think the first point, without much further ado, the best way to learn how to overcome a heartbreak, number one, is allow yourself to mourn.
Cry.
Allow yourself.
Ugly, cry it out.
Wewe lia maze.
Itoke hivi na mamira.
Wewe lia maze. Lia ishe. You see, let me compare this to the death of a loved one.
Yes.
Just like the death of a loved one, the end of a relationship requires you to mourn.
Grieve.
See, this is someone that you loved dearly. You cared for deeply. And you are letting go and detaching yourself to even a future that you had envisioned together. You are going from a place of somebody that you was ingrained in your daily routine.
Yeah.
Kifika home unamuona, ukiamka asubuhi ndo mtu wa mwisho uliona, and now to a place whereby now you're missing them. Suddenly.
Yeah.
Wametoka tu kwa life yako. I think you should allow yourself some period to mourn. You know, remember the good times. Remember the bad time. The Bible says forgetting those things that are past. Remember them, cherish them for what they were, and then cry it out. You know, sob. Take some ice cream and eat and sob it out.
Yes. Yes.
Let it all out, so that you don't hold it in. If you hold
don't
it
be
and
strong.
Yes,
You don't. Hakuna mtu ana deserve you're strong.
Yeah, hakuna story yako. Hapana, get messy. You know,
Yeah.
blow that nose. Just cry it out. It's good for your. It's good for your heart.
Okay.
Yes, it's good for your heart. So just let it all out. Number two, I'm telling you how I dealt with it.
Oh, this is how you dealt with it. After how long did you know that this is the procedure? Kwa sababu unajua kuna ingine, I saw something on TikTok I think this week yenye mse anasema so the brain comes in and says, so guys, how are we doing? It's been 2 weeks since the breakup. So the pride bit of you inasema, we're doing great. He wasn't even good looking. He's very ugly. Then the heart is just, busting. Yani nataka tu kulia. Then the logic is like, it's okay for you to cry, and mourn. But then pride iko pale iko like, msi atakuwa nawezanga, hata sikuwa nampenda. But then again, that means you're holding back.
Exactly. You see, it's like a cooker. A pressure cooker.
Yes.
When you hold that thing, after
the whistles,
just remove the plug and just let it all out.
Yeah.
Until you feel like your heart is set.
Okay.
Number 2 is don't get into blame games. Try not get into blame games. You see, in every relationship, there are two people, 2 personalities, 2 individuals, 2 perspectives, and 2 people who made mistakes, and 2 people who couldn't cope and match to make that relationship last. You see, it is tempting to blame yourself or blame your ex for that matter, but that's not the right way to, and a healthy way to cope with a heartbreak. It's good that both of you acknowledge your mistakes.
Yeah.
Acknowledge that you are wrong without trying to blame one another. You see, it's normal to feel angry and to feel guilty for that matter. There's always one who's feeling angry, there's one who's feeling guilty. But nobody's ever perfect in a relationship. Unless now you think you're God, you're perfect, you're complete. Nobody's ever perfect in a relationship. All of you both need forgiveness. So one of the best things is either guilty or angry, both of you need forgiveness. So forgive yourself and forgive this other person, and choose not to blame each other, because if you carry the blame, you leave that place thinking you're perfect just to go and join yourself to somebody else who think you are not perfect. It's pride and arrogance. So instead of looking at who did what, who did not do what, decide that I'm not going to blame anyone. I forgive you, I forgive myself, so that you ready yourself to move on. It's basically, we're talking about moving on. If you do not, if you play the blame game, you're still looking at yourself like, kosa. But it's going to hinder you from moving forward. Once you can face this, then you can face the fact of moving forward, and also cleaving to another, looking, getting yourself healed to the point where by now you're safe to get into another relationship. Now you're whole. Number 3, a simple one, change your environment and your routine. I'm not saying when the
unajua saa zingine msee mlikuwa mnaishi pamoja ama ni hood the same. There are relationships that are deeper.
I know. I'm not talking about you moving from Nairobi to Timbuktu ama up country.
Tumeenda majuu.
Those sentimental, there are places that are sentimental.
Okay.
Like the restaurant that you first said I do. Or you used to jog, or you used to go to the same gym and same hotels and same parks.
Okay.
These are the things that I'm saying that now you're supposed to change that environment, because the change of environment brings new perspective. If you stay to the old one, you'll keep on envisioning yourself and your ex in that. I'm not saying necessarily that you're not supposed to visit these other places. The only thing is try and have the similar associations to them. In other words, it means that you're healing. It's a human conditioning that if you fall out of love, you cut all association. You see, if, for example, myself, I used to love to take my wife to Java. Now, and she said, the first I love you at Java. The only thing is now is the similar association. In other words, look at Java as the place that they sell the best of coffee rather than the best of house coffee. Not all the coffee there I like, but the house coffee is awesome.
Yeah.
I crave it all the time. But I now associate Java with the coffee, not is that even I do.
Okay,
you see,
okay.
that means that you're healing. If you've taken a while of change your
Yes.
environment, if you go back there and you don't have that thing, that feeling, that chair, you can see that spot, but you're thinking that place have good coffee.
Yeah.
It's good for you.
For you to just step out of that and be like, now I'm looking, but it's okay for you to take some time out.
Yeah.
Not immediately unarudi tu hapo, because now it's gonna hurt you even more.
Yeah.
So it's, what you're saying is just take some time,
Subtle.
some time away from that, and then when you're good to go, then you're able to see it as just a restaurant. It's just that, and that might help. But then it takes a lot of kupona kidogo.
Yes, but you see, when you've gone out with somebody, it's like you know their timings.
Okay.
Like my wife knows if I want to get Odi, I don't need to call him. Then Java hiyo mama ngina saa moja ndapata. Unajua. So those are the kind of, now change that environment.
Yes.
Yeah, don't
yes.
go there so that you can meet up with this
Hizo
person.
ndio tunataka kufanya. Uko sure kama uliwachwa ama uliwachana. So unataka tu kutokelezea nikabampiane na yeye tu. And then you're nepengeta niambia I love you again. I don't want to leave you. It's heartbreaks are not easy, and I don't know if you've gone through a heartbreak or if you're going through one now. How is it? What are you doing to cope with the blues of a heartbreak? What are you doing to cope, and what are you doing to help you move on from that, that feeling, that heartbreak? 111 that is our SMS line. Tuma ujumbe mfupi. We will be reading all of your questions when we come back. Welcome back to Full Circle with Mwikali. How are you doing? Our Wednesday edition, when you talk matters relationship, Odada Okello anakuanga kwenye building. And today we are talking about the blues, the heartbreak, the pain. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with niliwachwa and niliwachana, and now I have to deal with that? And that's the question that I'm asking you today. How have you dealt with that before? What are some of the things that you did that worked for you? Please share that with us. Pengine nasikia tujuyo yako, unaweza saidia mtu mwingine. 111 that is our SMS line. And Odada is giving us tips hapa. Na zingine ni uchungu tu. It takes a while before you stop blaming the other person because you want to look at yourself, see mimi nilikos hii ama ni yeye. It takes a lot of time for me to be able not to want to bump into him or her, ile ya nicheki stonge.
Kama Elisha, the
Yes.
Bible says when David was praying that the child should not die, but when the child died, David stood up, washed his face and moved on. This is the most important thing. When it's over, know it's over. So don't go to those places. Change your environment.
Okay.
Number 3 is basically disconnect. Disconnect yourself online and offline. It's very hard for yourself to move on when you're following the every post on the Facebook.
Stalker.
And you're watching them on Instagram without
stories.
without feeling your
unaona
heart
tu hiyo
tag.
Java basi uko ndo alipelekana. Unakufa mara mbili.
Unakufa twice. It's very important to disconnect. You see the distance you can create between you and them will help you heal faster. So if you really serious about this moving on, sometimes it's you who have dumped that other person, but now for your own good you have to move on, because you have to remind yourself the reason why you have decided not to be in that relationship. But you see, if you're still looking at their posts, some of them are very arrogant, and whatever it is that they are posting, or they want to tell you, Maze, I can do better than you, I can deserve, I deserve much more than you. You see, those are things that you're not even supposed to get into, because nobody, it's a two-way.
Yes.
Either you doubt me or I dumped you, it doesn't really matter.
Tumewachana.
So the best way is create that distance so that you give yourself space to heal and to move on. So the best way is even get rid of their number so that when you're in those low points or you're tipsy in some buying
Drunk and dialing, drunk and texting, drunk and everything.
You don't find yourself in those 2 low moments when you're tipsy. Umemtumia message ni aje.
I have never loved anybody but you.
Nikotoa makewani nililast tulikuwa pamoja.
Oh my
You
God.
know, so it's important.
Yes.
Disconnect from social. It's one of the most hardest things. Maybe it will be the time now you start using the putting people in prison. Block them,
Yes.
and let them stay there. And out of mind, out of sight, out of sight, out of mind. So it's easy for you to grow quicker.
Yeah.
And then keep yourself busy. Before I forget that. Keep yourself busy. Is there a book that you wanted to write? Is there a book that you wanted to read? Now, there's a lot of time. You see, when you're in a relationship, there is, I told you guys, money, gifts, and time. Don't spend time with me. Don't tell me that you love me.
Yeah.
Now you have plenty of that time. You know, when your friends ask you out to go and dance with them. I mean, go and dance it out. You know, cook for yourself now rather than go buy food from outside. Get yourself busy. Find a new hobby. Go out there and play hockey or play golf. Do something that you didn't have time to do. Take that trip to Dubai. Take that trip to Mombasa if you can afford it. Or take a trip to the next estate. Visit your friend. Keep yourself busy. Don't stay idle. As they say, an idle mind is a workshop ya sheto.
Yes.
Mtu akona idle mind hapo ndo.
That is so true.
Hapo ndo shaito akanatuliaga.
Hapo ndio unakumbusha ngwa namba yake unaijua offhead.
Unaanza kumwona kwa haona yuko.
It is so true.
Yeah, so please keep yourself busy. And then also put tabs. I usually say take some time to reflect and to think about the relationship. What did you learn from that relationship? What is it that you disliked about this person so much that you said enough is enough?
Yeah.
You know, alikuwa na kupiga mangumi kama punching bag hapo hivyo. You know, remember that. Put it down on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
That when you find yourself trying to miss them, remind yourself why you left.
Okay.
So I usually say if it's gonna help you, get a paper, write down the list of the things that you could that made you decide, you know what? Umseshi.
Yes.
Put it down. Write down the list. So that and carry it everywhere we go with you. So that even when you see them with the next person, don't pit yourself, pit the person that they are with.
It's like wow.
Like ujui.
Hey, nakurumia.
You are the next punching bag if that guy doesn't change.
Yes.
Or you're wewe ndo utakuwa wa pili kumwagiwa acid. All those kind of things. When you write them down, it helps you actually heal faster and move on. So ukijipata tu kwa kakono madha kwa miss unazisoma na kumbuka mazeta hii nilikuwa nimesahau. You're healing now. Nakumbuka hii nilikuwa nimesahau. But now you're moving on.
Yeah.
Very important. Number 7 is don't give in to casual sex.
Okay.
I've seen people break up, but they're still friends with benefit. As tempting as it might be, this thing won't help you heal faster.
That is true.
We've talked about soul ties. You will start getting feelings of attachment and even jealousy, especially if these people have already started seeing other people. You find yourself in a kaka box. Ni kama umefunganishwa hapo, kabam. So
you haven't even moved on, really.
You haven't really moved on.
You haven't, because
you're now not officially in the relationship, but you're being used as tissue paper.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't allow yourself to be that kind of person. You will thank me later.
That's true.
Run as fast as possible.
Great. Questions?
No problem. We can go to the 8th and then we can look at
Yes,
those
great.
questions. Do not expect closure.
That's the one thing everybody wants. I want closure.
You see, closure is simply trying to get honest, truthful answers to the questions with an effort to why or to understand why it happened.
Yes.
And you see, any two civilized people can sit down and dissect that. But you see, at the point of that heartbreak, nobody is in the correct mind frame. Because this thing usually happen, but it usually happen a year or years after you can get closure. But at that time, don't expect it. In fact, trying to get your ex to sit down with you so that you can talk of what really happened is like throwing yourself again inside the fire. It's like you relish that pain. It's like you want to hear again how they cheated on you and how they have been cheating on you, and now you want to find out why did you do this to me. I'm just giving you scenarios, but there are others. There are many other scenarios why people break up. But trying to get to talk to your significant other again, your significant other who's now ex, is just going to bring in a lot of confusion, a lot of heartache, which you're trying to overcome. So don't expect to get closure. You might get it in the future.
Yeah.
But at that point, whatever it is, run. Like, work on yourself. Build yourself up once again. Start going to the gym. Try get yourself, because there are people who live a relationship and their self-esteem is gone. Depending with whoever cycle you are dating. They put you down, they called you all kind of names, they treated you as trash. This is the time to go and join that Zumba dance. Dance it all out, work out. They used to call you fat. Let them see you 2 years down on the line and they're like, whoa, work on yourself. And you're not working on yourself because of them. To prove a point. No, it's working on yourself because you know what? I have learned. I've told you, learn from what you've gone through. I have learned that, you know what? I was fat because you kept on calling me fat. Now I found somebody who's calling me beautiful with this size, but now I wasn't like this. I became like this because you mishandled me. If it were not you mishandling me, I would have not been like this. So, build up your self-esteem. Join the choir team, join a church, and, start glowing. You will attract the right people.
Absolutely.
I remember we talked about why you keep on attracting the same douchebags.
Yes, I remember. I don't think there's a conversation we've had here that I don't remember, Dada. All of them. All of them.
Work on yourself.
Yes.
Move on past this gentleman. Thrive on your own.
Okay.
Make sure you're whole, you're full, because we're not only moving on.
Yes.
But as I've said in the beginning, life goes on. And the best way to forget the past is to live for today and your future. You have to always keep on reminding you that better is not good enough. The best is yet to come.
Yes.
So you, by that mentality, you choose to live today and the future. So you cannot move on, or you cannot drive front when you're looking at the rear mirror.
Yeah.
You have to keep your focus. So what is with all this new time that you have to yourself, and there's nobody now calling you names, go to a church. I think if you get one of the best churches in the nation, you will find somebody who will always be speaking life to you, talking life to you, and it will change the way you think of yourself, and it will even change the way you think of relationship, because there's some people that are so hurt so bad that they wanakwambia maze relationship is a scam. Kunaga kitu kama hiyo. But you see, it's a beautiful thing. The only thing is you have people who have mishandled you. I remember last time I told you, they're not ugly women.
No.
They're just people with ugly words directed to beautiful women.
That is so
But
true.
what changed the beautiful woman to an ugly woman, and now you've been dumped, you feel like wasting yourself.
You feel ugly.
Don't go into those extremes. Now you have to go cut off your head and change your hairstyle and do drastic stuff. Leza mulisema mimi mbacha ni kuomba sasa acha nionyeshe vile bad inakuaga. No, that won't help you. It's just like trying to cover the wounds that are inside instead of letting the wound heal. You've noticed when the wound is so big, you can't have always chocolate stop plus weke juu inaozeaga tu ndani. So don't try and drown those things with drinking yourself silly and just
getting into drugs
and just letting yourself go, like, you know what, I'm gonna get wild and bad as they
streets.
I was a good girl, and you're now just demonstrating, like you're giving those people reason to say siniliwaambia.
Angalia.
Take your time, go build up yourself, find friends, family, join, visit up with them, and vent it out to them. And if they allow you to vent it all over their faces and keep on venting, after do it and thank them. Because most important is find a place where to vent it out. I usually tell people, if you're living in places whereby there is nobody to vent out, put whatever it is that you're going to put in front there and vent it out to them. It's still a way of letting go of those negative feelings and emotions out of your heart. And the healing process will
begin.
I usually say, do roles. Sit your friend in front of you and tell them where Sony nani, and vent it out. And just vent it out instead of looking for them.
Like cuckoo. It's like wewe ndio nani nakupasha.
And you will be amazed. Sometimes they vent it out until you see the anger coming out, and you're thinking, this is what was inside.
Oh my God!
So it's good. It's coming out.
Yeah.
And once it's out, forgive, forget, move on.
Oh my goodness. I don't even think we have time for a question. We have about can we do? Okay, great. Good morning, Mikali. It's Vicky from Kisumu. I got into a relationship because of peer pressure. After my breakup, it took me 2 years to move on. I disconnected from everything I loved before. It was painful, but now at least I know what I want, and I will not settle for less. I will not settle less for somebody again. Now I'm very happily single because I understand myself better. Vicky, thank you so much for sharing that with us. Hi, Mwix. I'm Daisy, tuned in from Ronga. I broke up with my fiance last month, and I remember sobbing for nights. We met in 2016 as friends, gradually grew together, so you can imagine. So since 2016, and it ended last month. Whew. Wow. I hope you've taken down the 2 steps. If you are patia kulia, ugly crying, you do it. I got heartbroken by my boyfriend just yesterday, and so I'm so down now. I don't know why I blame myself for everything that happened. The funniest thing was that it was a long distance relationship. Hey, ulikuwa unajua long distance relationship inaitangwa LDR. I mean, in brackets, unani understand, eh? Thanks. So please advise. So I think kama ulikuwa una pay attention to the conversation then.
It's important if she's watching the show. It's important. The only thing I also can advise, maybe it's at the last point is seek for help.
Yeah.
Just because you've broken up with your ex now, does not mean that now you don't have support system around you. Seek for help. Go find a therapist. Sit down with them and talk to them. Again, therapists are people you can actually sit down. I've been in so many sessions that I don't say anything.
Yeah.
Somebody is just speaking. I go to speak at the Hongoja. You speak, and then our time is over. You go, and you're healed.
You're healed. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Dada, our time is up. Our time is up. So all of the questions that we've not been able to tackle on the show, please send them to Dada, because he will definitely take care of you and answer all of your questions as well. How can people get in touch with you?
My number is 0722 44 1511.
That's it? Social media?
My social media handle is the Marriage Counselor 254, both on Instagram and on Facebook. Or Dada Okelo. Thank you very much. Please remember, love never fails, and if it does, it wasn't love. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, Mingi.
Yeah.
We're taking a very short commercial break. We'll be right back. This is Full Circle with Fukali.
Love.